This meeting is being recorded.
There you go. Just to make sure we have it doubled now. This meeting is being recorded. Yes, it is. Hello to week 7 of my mindfulness retreat with Tessy. That's me. I'm so grateful to have you all here. We're still doing the holidays, and these sessions 6 and 7, today we did them back to back. So that's a lot of content. That's 3 hours of work, which is insane. And some of you are here. A lot of them will go online later, and some of them will do it one-on-one. So I'm very grateful. This is part of my PhD work, as you know, and my practical work, which I need 1,000 hours, which these 10 weeks of my course will meet the requirements. I'm not a licensed practitioner, nor am I a doctor, as you know. I always need to say that because it's important. If you feel unwell, please seek advice and medical advice. I cannot help you. We are all on screens here. The things I tell you, the things I show you, the tools I use, the tools I recommend, they all just recommendations, advices, but please do seek expert advice or get in touch with me, and we can do more research on a topic if you're more interested in it. And we didn't address the topic fully, so please get in touch. So yeah, that is it. Just as disclaimers, it's important to always have a disclaimer. Let me just do this quickly. Week 6 just popped up. Now we'll quickly just save it so that I can do it later. Here we go. So let's pull it over there. You can hear that, huh? It doesn't get lost. So that's that. So that's safe. That's perfect. It's safe for everyone else who cannot join us today. So week 7, it's all about self-compassion. Tell me, what do you think? What is self-compassion? Does anyone wants to go give it a go before I come with the definition? Anyone dares? I can see the lips in the thinking moment. We're all thinking.
I think it's being kind to yourself.
Yes, that is important. What else?
Working on self-criticism, on the internal voice, that to tackle that, to have this under control, to have this warm feeling towards you, and to be aware when this negative criticism is joining, and be able to maybe a little bit stop it.
Yes, some parts of it. Anyone else before we start with the definition that the experts tell us? No? Okay, so now let me pull up our work for this week. I did a little presentation for you. Okay. That's interesting. File. Okay, it doesn't show it the way I want to show it. I saved it as a PDF, and I don't know if it does it the way I want, but it will serve its purpose. It will tell us, it will show us what we need to know, but you will see all the other slides as well, but that's fine. We can live with that. So just focus on the big one. There's no much, you know me, I don't put much text anyways in my slides, so don't worry about that. So week 7 is all about self-compassion. So what is it? I, for that, used a website called selfcompassion.org, which is all about self-compassion. and a really great website, actually. They have amazing resources, they have amazing tools, and the meditation we will be doing today is actually narrated by one on their website. I wanted to do it myself, the narration, but she did such a good job, and I thought I will be meditating with you today for once. But I tried already with week 6. I wanted to record it, that didn't work, so I thought today, maybe if we can, I will put it on my screen here, and then it can narrate for all of us, so we can all meditate together. Is that not beautiful? So, definition of self-compassion. So retrieved from selfcompassion.org, as you know. Having compassion for oneself is really no different than having compassion for others. Think about what the experience of compassion feels like. First, to have compassion for others, you must notice that they are suffering. If you ignore that homeless person on the street, you can't feel compassion for how difficult his or her experience is. Second, compassion involves feeling moved by others' suffering so that your heart responds to their pain. The word compassion literally means to suffer within. When this occurs, you feel warmth, caring, and a desire to help the suffering person in some way. Having compassion also means that you offer understanding and kindness to others when they fail or make mistakes, rather than judging them harshly. Finally, when you feel compassion for another rather than mere pity, it means that you realize that suffering, failure, and imperfection is all part of the shared human experience. There but for fortune go I, as they say, it's in a quote. Self-compassion involves acting the same way towards yourself when you are having a difficult time. Fail or notice something you don't like about yourself. Instead of just ignoring your pain with a stiff upper lip, mentally you stop to tell yourself, this is really difficult right now. How can I comfort and care for myself in this moment? That goes as well with the exercises of really difficult tasks that we did in week 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the book. Instead of merciless judging and criticizing yourself for various inadequacies or shortcomings, self-compassion means you are kind, as we heard already before from I think it was Rudy, right? And understanding when confronted with personal failings. After all, whoever said you were supposed to be perfect? You may try to change in ways that allow you to be more healthy and happy, but this is done because you care about yourself, not because you're worthless or unacceptable as you are. Perhaps most importantly, having compassion for yourself means that you honor and accept your humanness. Things will not always go the way you want them to. You will encounter frustration, losses will occur, you will make mistakes, bump up against your limitations, fall short of your ideals. This is the human condition, a reality shared by all of us. The more you open your heart to this reality instead of constantly fighting against it, the more you will be able to feel compassion for yourself and all your fellow humans in the experience of life. Let's go over to the 3 elements of self-compassion. 1, self-kindness versus self-judgment. Self-compassion entails being warm and understanding towards ourselves when we suffer, fail, or feel inadequate, rather than ignoring our pain or flagellating ourselves with self-criticism. Self-compassionate people recognize that being imperfect, failing, and experiencing life difficulties is inevitable. So they tend to be gentle with themselves when confronted with painful experiences, rather than getting angry when life falls short of set ideals. People cannot always be or get exactly what they want. When this reality is denied or fought against, suffering increases in the form of stress, frustration, and self-criticism. When this reality is accepted with sympathy and kindness, greater emotional equanimity is experienced. That is also, when I looked into our class today and what I would present, I really have seen, especially with self-compassion, that I was not at all self-compassionate with myself when I went through my burnout in the middle of my divorce and after, and it took me a long time to recover, right? But it was because I was judging myself a lot. And I still do that sometimes, when I work or when I'm with baby, for example, and with all the kids, I feel bad and I judge myself for not getting the work done I want to get done. Because yes, I have a lot of work and I do these lists and I look at the list and I feel guilty and I feel bad. And I, especially over the summer now, where I tried to just be more in the moment instead of living for tomorrow, I was really trying to live a little bit more what is happening today and really experiencing my children, all 4 of them, and, just connect with them a little bit more. And I think, the self-kindness and the self-judge versus self-judgment is a real big challenge that we all experience. For me, it was definitely the burnout moment, and for me, the realization that I need to be a bit more kind with me instead of judging myself too much. Does anyone wants to share a moment in their lives where they had a moment or an experience while I was just reading this out to you, where you were like, this is exactly like a moment I had or recent experience where I could have been more kind to myself, but I was more judging towards me. And that's why I felt more stressed and frustrated because of that. Does anyone wants to share something like that? If not, don't worry, but it's always nice to share, to learn from one another, right? No? Well, don't worry. Don't worry about it. We can always talk about it offline. So the second part is common humanity, as you can see on the slide. Common humanity versus isolation. Frustration at not having things exactly as we wanted is often accompanied by an irrational but pervasive sense of isolation, as if I were the only person suffering or making mistakes. All humans suffer. We know that, right? However, the very definition of being human means that one is mortal, vulnerable, and imperfect. Therefore, self-compassion involves recognizing that suffering and personal inadequacy is part of the shared human experience, something that we all go through rather than being something that happens to me alone. And sometimes you get caught up with that. And I have that sometimes as well. And I know people as well where they just say, yeah, but this happened to me. Or, yeah, it is harder for me, And I think, and that is always the big problem when you talk about your experience. And, like, for example, the pandemic, when someone shares about his or her experience and says, oh, I had this, I felt really lonely in my house. But then, some celebrities actually were really bashed online because of that. They told everyone how they felt about it, but they were bashed because then other people were commenting in the comment section, which is kind of like the troll section, isn't it? People just go rogue there because there's anonymity and they can just vent out, right? So they just went, well, what do you know? You have a huge house and I live in a one bed apartment. And, I was really lonely and I had no space and things like that. And I couldn't go outside like you, but I was in an apartment and you had all of that space and I don't know what, a pool and whatever. And there's really where we need to be careful because yes, the reality is true that celebrity versus that person with the comment, they share not the same lives, but an experience, the way you experience something is unique to you. And just because you have different tools and different means and different opportunities doesn't make your experience less real for you as a person. And that can be really anything, my experience and how I experienced a big major crisis can be different to Paulina, Toke, Jessica, Andrew, can be different to all of you. even though maybe we have experienced the exact same thing, right? Let's brainstorm about it. I missed the flight. So the experience, the exercise is, you missed the flight. You didn't get the next one. They didn't reimburse you the money. You had a work meeting you needed to attend, and your children are at home with a sitter or with your parents, and you feel bad about that because you left them and blah, blah, blah. Right? That didn't happen to me, but let's take it as an exercise to think about it. That happened to me in the exercise. It happened to Paulina, to Toki, to Jessica, to Andrew, to Maria, to everyone else looking at it on YouTube and in my private sessions, right? Each and every one of us has the same situation. I can assure you that the way I react to that will be very different to every single one of you. And I think that is the important part, that we understand that the common humanity versus isolation, that the common humanity part, that yes, some people have more means, they have more stuff, they have more money, they have everything else, but emotions and the way we experience our circumstances in our lives, the way we experience, for example, a loss, the way we experience someone getting sick, the way we experience a miscarriage, the way we experience an abortion, the way we experience a divorce, the way we experience a breakup, the way we experience a wedding, the way we experience our first day at school, it's all very unique to us. And I think that is very important that we always keep that in the back of our mind when we see these reports online, when people share their experience and how they felt about it and how that affected them emotionally, that we don't fall into that trap and saying, yes, but I suffered more, because you don't know. Everyone experienced their own things the way they need to experience it. And, that goes as well for really horrific things such as rape and so on. Everyone has their experience the way they have their experience. So we should not compare anyone else's experience and emotions and feelings about it and put them down because of it. Because everyone has the right, no matter who you are, if you are the Grand Duke of Luxembourg or Paul the neighbor, everyone has the right to express and talk about the way they experience and feel whatever is happening to them without being put down for it or being belittled for it or the experience being not respected the way it should have. So I think that is always something that is very important that we keep in the back of our minds at all times. And it is hard because sometimes you really do feel, but I felt it more or I was suffering more. And yes, that is, again, you're right to feel that way. And you can feel that way inside you and you can tell yourself that, but be more considerate towards others and be more compassionate when expressing these feelings by not undermining anyone else's experience, because you can't, right? As I said before, it's unique to you. And it's an exercise. It doesn't always work, and it doesn't always work for me as well, but it's something you can train, and it's important. Then we have mindfulness, as you can see, mindfulness versus over-identification, which I thought was really interesting. So self-compassion also requires taking a balanced approach to our negative emotions so that feelings are neither suppressed nor exaggerated. This equilibrated stance stems from the process of relating personal experiences to those of others who are also suffering, thus putting our situation into a larger perspective. It also stems from the willingness to observe our negative thoughts and emotions with openness and clarity so that they are held in mindful awareness. Mindfulness is a non-judgmental, receptive mind state in which one observes thoughts and feelings as they are without trying to suppress or deny them. We cannot ignore our pain and feel compassion for it at the same time. At the same time, mindfulness requires that we do not be over-identified with thoughts and feelings so that we are caught up and swept away by negative reactivity. It's kind of like what we learned in the first few weeks about what is mindfulness and how to meditate. There are always thoughts coming in and out of while and during meditation, right? And as I said, it's like kind of like a train with different wagons on it, or clouds in the sky, or billboards when you're driving with the car along the motorway, right? You see them, you know they're there, you can read them, and then just let them pass. The next thing comes, let them pass. And something to always get you back again, as we have learned in the other weeks before, is the breathing, as we had as well in week 6 now, but also in all of the other weeks. If you feel if you get caught up and you notice, oh, I am in my thoughts, just get back into your breathing and back into the meditation. It happens, don't judge yourself for it. And it will get less, the noise will get less noisier as you go on, as you train your brain to just, acknowledge them and move on. One thing that is really good again as well, as we have learned in the other weeks, and every single week is connected to one another. So there will be things I repeat just because of the context, but everything is linked, and that is part of the retreat as well. It's like an overall holistic approach, but it's all connected, right? What is really good, again, what I have mentioned already, is journaling. I don't know if any one of you has already started to journal in the morning. I think it's very important. And if you Google the benefits of morning journaling, you will see what it can do to you. A friend of mine, Julian Huff, she's an actress in the US. She works a lot with Oprah, and she has actually a movement called Kinergy, spelled Kingry if you want, Kingry. And if you go on Kinergy, there's these movement flow guided meditation sessions, which I think is amazing, because while you also have kind of like a thought process and meditative state, you also connect to your different chakras, especially your root chakra, which is by your hips, and your sexual chakra, and so on. And it's just really cool. But she is also she openly talks about journaling and the benefits of it. There's another friend of mine, Maud Hurst, as well. She's also a Hollywood actress. She played in Vikings. I think she was Helga, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen Vikings. My kids have seen it, Gabriel and Noah, over the summer now, and loved it. So I told Maud, I left her voice message and I said, my kids love it. And she's like, oh, that is so nice. Yeah, there's kind of like a recoming of the Vikings. People are watching it more on Netflix again. And so, yeah, she played in it, but now she stopped acting and she went all into mindfulness. And she has amazing courses as well on breathing, mindfulness. You can go on her website, which is called Energy Rise. And it's really fantastic. I have done courses with her where she does theta healing, which is a lot about healing your body and your mind, meditation sessions. She talks a lot about anxiety and stress, which we had in week 5, heart rate variability, which we had as well in week 5, and so on. So she's amazing. So I would definitely also recommend my darling Maud Hurst for any future extended research or for more resources and tools after this session, of course. So now what I have for you is, as it says here, a self-compassion self-test. So I'll put for you in the chat section here, a link, which is specifically about that. 1 second. So you can just click on it. Let me just there you go. So for the ones tuning in on YouTube, please put in Google self, SELF dash compassion, COMPASSION.org /self compassion /test. So you will see it there. So please do that test. Also, if you're coming in on YouTube and everything, do it. It's great. So now we're going to go there and I'm going to share my screen. Oops, let me put you guys up here, up for now. So now you're up here on my other screen. I have a few screens here to just make sure I have all ready for you. So here we go. I will share this and you should be able to see the same screen now. Yeah? Okay. So that's fantastic. I put you up here again. So I will not look into the camera, which is up here on the screen. I will work with my computer here. But you guys are up there. So Self-Compassion by Dr. Christine Neff. Test how self-compassionate you are, which I think is amazing. So almost is 1, occasionally is 2, about half of the time is 3, fairly often is 4, and almost and never is 5. So if you want, I give you all now, let's say 10 minutes to do this, and then we get back. It's now 18:57. So at 18:07, we will resume with the results. Take your time, think about it, and then we do it. We assess it later together. And I'm doing it at the same time. I will give you a little bit more time, just so that you can also look at the test score interpretation and everything. So it's 19:02. We resume at 19:15 in 13 minutes. Gives you a bit more time. Hi guys. So how are we doing? I have a little guest. Oh, he wants to see what's happening here. Dit is Marjan. Dit is Marjan. Denk aan Marjan. He's like, oh, he can see all of your faces. He's like, what are they doing in the screen? Look, there's Jessica. Hello. And Andrew and Simone, Paulina, Rudy, Toke and Maria. Huh? He's so shy.
He's so smiley. He's so cute. I love his smile.
Vamos a ver esta too. Yeah. Well, there you go. There he was, Sister Eddie. Eddie. He's going to be 1 on Friday, guys. Isn't that insane? Already, huh? We're getting old. 1, he's already walking with a walker. So nice. And he's eating, yeah, kind of almost everything. He's a little eater here. Yeah, but he doesn't want a bottle. He's still breastfed. So there you go. So bye. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, wait 1 second. Ja, wir wollen. Der geht, Mama muss ein bisschen schaffen. Oh, Mausi, Mama könnte nur. Ja, bitte. So. Yeah, he wants to play with us. He wants to stay with us, which is so cute. But yeah, we need to finish this in peace. This is still mama time for me. And he's playing with Papa downstairs with friends. We have some friends over for a little bit of a barbecue. So there you go. That was an interesting test, wasn't it? I didn't do it as well. I wanted to do it with you first as well. And I don't know if my scores are that great. I think I'm more judgmental towards myself than I thought I am. Yeah. So 1 to 2.5 for your overall self-compassion score indicates you're low in self-compassion. Okay. 2.5 to 3.5 indicated you're moderate, and 3.5 to 5 means you're high. So anyone wants to share your score? Because I think it's yeah, it was really interesting, the questions, because you know how hard you're on yourself and how you feel about failure and so on. You think about it, but you don't really ever are confronted where you need to put a number towards it, right? Right? Like I was shocked. So I share my overall score is a 3.13. So I'm a moderate, compassionate person, which I think is not bad. So with the common humanity, it's actually quite high. That is a 3.25. And the worst score for me was isolation, which was a 2. So that's that. Anyone wants to share their scores? Not everyone.
3%.
What is it, okay?
I was going to say I got a 2.73 overall. Not very good.
Yeah, but that is, you're like me then. We are in moderation.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I'm wondering, I need to do into research, and if I find it, I send it to you, how you can increase that. But I guess on the selfcompassion.org, on the website where you have the tools and the exercises, I think you can train that as everything else to just become more aware of that, which I think is great. Rudy she just put the category and the exercises on our chat link. And very good, Maria. Love it. So yeah, very, very good. Very, very good. So perfect. Now we go over. Let me pull you down again here, because looking up at your faces, but the camera is here, is a bit odd. Oh, can I get you down here? Close the screen. There you go. Okay, and now I get you down here. You're in front of me again. Hello, beautiful people. Here and online after. So now, what is left to do for us today, before we do the wrap up for today, is the self-compassionate meditation part. So I chose to use the one that they have already so that I can do it with you and that we can talk more in depth about the experience after, and that I feel more connected to you all. Again, after the meditation, if you want to share how you feel, what you like best about it, please do. If you don't want to share it now, you can always write me. You can always write me questions, always one-on-ones. A lot of you guys, also people that are not on the live ever, but watch the videos on YouTube, they do one-on-ones, and where we do specifically questions and answers on their own personal lives and issues. And it has been really extremely, extremely useful. One thing I wanted to ask you guys as well, before we go to the meditation part, is that looking at our schedule, we are week 8, which is body scan, yeah? And I thought we can do week 8, the body scan, we can do it, which is a beautiful meditation, and we have done quite a lot on it already, but just to really focus on that. And then week 9 is again mindful breathing. And I was wondering if one of these 2 weeks, if we can talk more about nutrition, because I am looking for this, wait, and I think, oh, I need to unblur my screen, 1 second. Oh, he's crying now. There you go. There you go. Superfoods. And I must tell you guys that I found some really great content here. Really great content. Why you eat the things you eat, alternatives to it, what does it do to you, the alternatives, yeah, it's just really cool. And so I was wondering if instead of, because we had the breathing today, and we can do again mindfulness breathing, there's no problem with it, but just because I want you to get the most out of it, that we maybe switch one session and replace it with a nutrition session. So you can decide, just write me after this class. You don't need to do that now, because also the people online will definitely want to be included in that decision. So get back to me within the next few days, and then we can decide what to do. We will probably keep the body scan this week, Thursday, because that's good. And it's nice because it's the last week before August is over. September school starts and people come back to work more, and everything is getting really, really stronger again and stressful and everything, you know, because we're running into the last quarter of the year, which a lot of people always think, oh my God, I only have that time left. It kind of puts a bit of more stress on you. I don't know why, but it does. Toki, I love your hair. It's amazing. And I just seen the camera.
Thank you.
Very cool. The last time I saw you in London, it was all short. This is really
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
No problem. So to write down the book, this is actually a magazine I bought already quite a while ago. And it's a handbook on superfoods. So if you Google it, you find other alternatives. I just like this because, let me put the screen again, because it really does one by one, you know, jalapenos, and then, you know, how you can cook it as well. It has recipes for it, garlic. So it does that. And there's quite a lot of nutritional advice on it, which I think is good. Chocolate, which we obviously love, right? So things like that, I think that could be really, really, really cool. Then one other thing before we start the meditation now, which I've bought on Amazon, and I think it could be really, really good because I cannot emphasize more on the importance of this. By the way, you see, for the first time, I'm sitting on my husband's desk. This is my desk there. So I always sit there and he sits here when we work during the week. So there you go, so that I can just turn around and give him a kiss when I'm on my break. Isn't that nice? We don't smoke during the day, so he gets kisses instead. Here we go. Getting to good. It's mirror now on the screen, but getting to good, a guided journal. Bring happiness and positivity into your day. So it's all about journaling. has questions. Write about a time in your life when you struggled but didn't give up, for example. Write freely about a particularly challenging time in your life. Write about a time when you were vulnerable with someone and as a result, you felt closer to them. And there's also quotes, and I really like it. Write down 10 things that make you happy. You know, it's just like, it has these exercises. And you can do a few, you know, you can do one a day only, which I think is already great. Write about something you are looking forward to. Things like that, right? Here, write down at least one favorite thing from your day for a week straight, which goes very well with the exercise I made you do in week 2 about how was your day? Who was kind to you? When were you kind to someone else? And things like that, which is still an exercise, which I think you should keep doing. Toki says her favorite superfoods include Cmos, bladder rack, and pomegranate. Enlighten me. What is Cmos and what is bladder rack, Toki? Because I have never heard about that.
Oh, they are like seaweed. It's kind of like a sea plant which you can eat, and it's very nutritional, full of nutrients. My daughter agrees.
It's good. She's on the same
Yeah.
page as you. You raised her well.
Thank
So your daughter,
you.
can your daughter tell me the bladder rag? Is that a seaweed as well?
Yeah. She's nodding, but she's not speaking. Yes. Yes, it is.
How old is she?
She's 5.
Oh. Well, thank you to her for being part of this. This is so nice. So now she can join the meditation about self-compassion. It's also good for children if she wants. It's 20 minutes, so it's a bit long. If she cannot make the whole thing, we totally understand. My children, after 5 minutes, I have lost them. So you know, if she can make it impressive, but if not, I totally understand. So perfect. My sister has written me. So now I would see if I can pull it up here and then share the screen, if that works. If not, I will put it up on another screen and we listen to it through the microphone.
This meditation is called Affectionate Breathing.
Can you hear that firstly? When she talks, can you hear that? Can someone say yes or no?
It should take about
Very light. Could hear it, but not clearly.
Very gentle.
Very gentle. Okay.
Not clearly.
Well, maybe let's do like this then. Oops. Closing this. And just to make sure. You up again for a moment. And then I do this. That would be nice. So pull this up. Oh, I don't want this. I just want one flyer that I can leave while we do the practice. There. The New York Times is always amazing. Let me see if I can just see. No. Okay, well, it doesn't work the way I anticipated it, but that's fine. We can do it on another screen. Yeah. There you go. Okay, well, let's do it like this. I put it up on this screen and I put it up loud. And then we get going. And you tell me if you hear it like this. Oops. My computer is thinking, the other one. Second. Worked all day. There you go. And practices. Here we go. Because this one is also, it's called Affectionate Breathing. It's loading. Well, while it's loading, let's see as well into this quickly before. I wanted to do it when we're done, but we can do it now. Because
This meditation is called.
Okay, great. Well, let's do it now. She is ready. She is ready. And we are too. Perfect. But you can hear her well, right? Okay, good.
Yes.
So you can take off your cameras if you want. I will be here with you as well, meditating. And we will just, for the next, it's 21 minutes, do this guided meditation together. I will also take off my screen for once, but I will be here with you. And we will just listen to her and what she has to say.
Affectionate breathing. It should take about 20 minutes to complete. So start out by finding a comfortable position. This could be in a chair, on a meditation cushion, or you might even try lying on the floor in what's called the corpse pose in yoga, with your limbs spread out slightly, feeling completely relaxed. But only choose this one if you aren't too tired. All right. So once you're in a comfortable position, we're going to start. All right, start by getting in touch with your body in whatever position it's in right now. Notice how your feet feel, your legs, your seat, your trunk, your shoulders, your head. Just get in touch with your body right here, right now. Notice any sensations you feel, tingling, throbbing, space. Whether those sensations are pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, it's fine. Just get in touch with what you're feeling right now. And now, take 3 deep breaths to let out any tension from the day. Let your breathing return to normal. And see if you can notice where you feel the breath most strongly. It may be as it enters and exits your nostrils, or perhaps as it enters and exits your chest, or as your abdomen rises and falls. No one spot is better than another. Just notice where you feel your breath most strongly. Again, not trying to control the breath, slow it down. Your body knows how to breathe itself. Just try to relax and let your breathing be natural. So now adopt a little half smile, very, very tiny, just so the corners of your mouth curl up just a little bit. It shouldn't be strained or forced. Just let your mouth adopt a position of a little bit of a smile with your mouth closed. Notice how that makes you feel when your face adopts a position of contentment and peace, happiness with the present moment. And now as you breathe in and out, noticing how each in-breath feels, how each out-breath feels. Try to let your breath be infused with affection for yourself and others, with kindness for yourself and others. Even if you don't really feel it, just set your intention for each breath to breathe in kindness and affection for yourself, and each out breath to breathe out affection and kindness for the world, for others in the world who are suffering just like you are. Your mind will naturally wander as it does this. It's very normal, very human. Don't judge yourself for your mind wandering. Everyone does it. Just notice when your mind has wandered. This is a moment of mindfulness. You're aware that your mind has wandered. And bring your attention gently back to your breath and focusing on the feelings of affection and kindness that you're intending with each in-breath and each out-breath. If it helps to get in touch with these feelings, you might try putting your hand over your heart and feeling the warmth that's there. Coming back to the breath if your mind has wandered. Feeling some appreciation for your breath itself. Without breath, we couldn't stay alive. Noticing each breath as it enters and exits your body. Holding affection for yourself and for others. Kindness for yourself and for others. Remembering your little half smile. If your mind has wandered, bringing it gently and tenderly back to the breath. Letting your breath soothe and comfort your body, releasing any tension there. As you notice the gentle flow of your breath in and out. If your mind has wandered, just bring your awareness back to your breath without judgment, noticing the feelings of affection generated by your half smile. Or perhaps you have your hand over your heart, getting in touch with the feelings of warmth there. And gently return to your breath. Kindness being breathed in and out. Returning to the breath if your mind has wandered. Focusing on your intention of kindness for self and others, of goodwill, of affection for all human beings, including ourselves. And the meditation will end shortly, so take this last minute or two to really focus on your breath, gently and kindly breathing in, breathing out. Resting in the feelings of kindness you're generating.
Voila, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful self-compassionate meditation as much as I did. Rudy wrote me she needed to leave. So yeah, this kind of like concludes week 7. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. It's very relaxing, isn't it? I think this one was really relaxing. And you know, sometimes when you meditate, when you do pauses, and I will do next week more pauses in my meditations as well. I just didn't want to do that at the beginning. It can kind of like create a bit of anxiety because you never know when it's done, when the pause is done, when the next thing comes, right? It's because we're so in use of that everything just comes and comes and comes, and just actually being forced to stop and just enjoy the pause because you are within that pause. Let me put the screen on so I can look at you properly. Just to look at what is right there, right? That you're experiencing right now. It can be a little bit, well, we're not in use of it anymore, right? So don't be afraid of the silence of the pause because it's actually quite relaxing. You will get in use of it throughout the meditations. You would see online a lot of meditations use these pauses. Deepak Chopra does a lot of the pauses, for example, and so on. And I think they're very, very good. There's also Sadhguru. If you Google him, I met him and Deepak Chopra in Davos in May this year. Fantastic human beings. And Sadhguru, he is a very big, he speaks out for soil health and regeneration. So the floor, right, the grounds. And he talks about relationships, love, compassion, you. And there was one, and I leave you with that before I stop the recording for Q&A. He was saying one thing when someone asked him, you know, you get asked all of these weird questions and people ask you all about these things and people want to know all of these things and they want to know what they should do better in their life. What do you think about that? You know, how does that make you feel? And he just said, I don't care what other people think or what other people want. Only thing I care is myself. And he said, and I do this because I like that myself. And I thought that was really powerful because think about it during your day. There's another teacher in school. There's a video that is circulating on Instagram right now and also on TikTok. A teacher comes into class, he puts a glass and he puts golf balls in it. And he says to the students, is the glass full? The students say yes. Then he takes another cup with gravel in it and he puts the gravel. And then he says, is the glass full? And the students say yes. Then he takes sand and he puts the sand, which goes in between the golf balls and the gravel. And he says, is the glass full? And they say yes. Then he takes, there's a few versions. In that version, it takes water or like beer or whatever, fills it in and says again to the students, is it full? And the students say yes. And he says, this glass represents your life. The golf balls are your most important things, your family, your friends, whatever is really important to you. The gravel is other important things, your car, your home, other things. The sand is all of the things that are not important, but you still want to do them. You still put them in your life and you still clutter your day full of it. That's the sand. And he said, a lot of people put the sand first, but then you cannot put gravel or the golf balls in it anymore because there's no space. And so he says, stop decluttering your life with all of these things that are not necessary and focus on the things that are necessary, like the golf balls and the gravel. So put that always in the back of your mind. What is your sand? What is your golf ball? And what is your gravel? I want you to think about this exercise and tell me next week one thing you learned about that. And also, what is more sand where you thought it was a golf ball? I think that would be interesting as a reflection. So what is your sand right now? What is your golf ball right now, which should actually be sand? So think about it. And then we will resume on Thursday this week for week 8 to talk about body scan. And then we will also, as said before, please think about if we do week 9 on nutrition, if you're happy with that, instead of the mindful breathing, because we had that already in week 6. But happy either way. And yeah, with that, I will stop the recording and we can do the Q&A and the goodbyes. For the ones looking at the recording, see you on Thursday, 7 p.m. Central European Time for a session on body scan. And thank you so much for everything. If you have any questions, if you know someone who would benefit of this, send me the details. You can always add people. We are around 85 to 87 students each week, which is amazing. It doesn't look like it on the live sessions, but a lot of people tune in online and a lot of people get in touch with me one-on-one. So I have around between 80 and 87 students a week, which is insane. And I could have not imagined it to be so successful. And the feedback is amazing. So if you want to send me more feedback, or if you have more questions, something you really like, because week 10, we have planned normally. Oh, come on. And I put an ear thing in it. There. Week 10, we have wrap up and key takeaways. So whatever you want to do else on week 10, let me know. Week 8 is coming this Thursday, week 9 already next week. And then is week 10, which is also the start of school for people in Luxembourg and so on. So yeah, if there's anything you have questions on, anything you're really interested in, I can allocate 10 minutes or 15 minutes time slot in that week 10 to address that. So if there's anything, just write me privately and I will incorporate that. Okay, well, that's it from me to all of you. Love you very much. Stay kind, look after yourself, meditate, take some time to breathe, take brain breaks, and take care of yourself, because there's only one of you. And if you don't function, nothing else around you will function. So you put your mask on first before anyone else. So this concludes the recording. Goodbye.